ഹായ് ഓൾ, എല്ലാവർക്കും നല്ലൊരു സായാഹ്നത്തിലേക്ക് ഹൃദയം നിറഞ്ഞ സ്വാഗതം. ISTD കോഴിക്കോട് ഒരുക്കുന്ന ഒരു മനോഹരമായ സെഷനിലാണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ കൂടിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് വിമൻസിന് വേണ്ടിയാണ് നമ്മളിത് സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. ജസ്റ്റ് പോസ്, ഹീൽ, ഗ്രോ ആൻഡ് ഗ്ലോ എന്നൊരു ലക്ഷ്യം വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് സ്ത്രീകളെ കൂടുതൽ ശക്തിവത്താക്കാനും നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തില് സ്ത്രീകളാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഒരു ഉൾവലിഞ്ഞതായി നമുക്ക് കാണപ്പെടുന്നത്. അവർക്ക് ഒരുപാട് പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അതൊന്ന് ഹീൽ ചെയ്യാനോ പറയാനോ ഒരു ഇടം കിട്ടാതെ ഒരുപാട് സ്ത്രീകളുണ്ട്. അതിൽ നിന്നൊക്കെ ഒരു മോചനം നൽകിക്കൊണ്ട് അവരിൽ ആത്മവിശ്വാസം വളർത്തിക്കൊണ്ട് സമൂഹത്തിന്റെ ഉന്നതിയിലേക്ക് അവരെ എത്തിക്കാൻ, അവരുടെ മാനസികമായും ആത്മീയവുമായുമായ വളർച്ചയ്ക്ക് ഒരു ഇടമേകാൻ നമ്മൾ ശ്രമിക്കുകയാണ് ഈ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാമിൽ കൂടി. വലിയൊരു കാൽവയ്പാണിത്. നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഒരു സെഷൻ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിരിക്കുന്ന അശ്വതി ദിനിൽ മാം, നമ്മുടെ ചെയർമാൻ ഷൗക്കത്ത് സർ, മറ്റു എല്ലാവരെയും ISTDയുടെ എല്ലാ പ്രേക്ഷകരെയും എല്ലാവരെയും ഞാൻ ഹൃദ്യമായി സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് ഈ ഒരു സെഷനിലേക്ക് ISTD ചെയർമാൻ ഷൗക്കത്ത് സാറിനെ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് സാറിനെ ഹാൻഡ് ഓവർ ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you very much. The days of work, hard work, the days of uncertainty, finally we have this session. Thank you very much. And today we have many special people from outside Kerala, other chapters of ISTD, Pan India, and welcoming all the national leaders, national council members of the other chapter, welcoming this special session and exclusively for women, Inner Glow. Of course, men are welcome, including me. Good. I think National President is around.
Yes, Mr. Shaukat, it's been a pleasure to be here. I'll just speak for half a minute. Congratulations to everybody in Team Shaukat, to Team Kozhikode. I think it's been a wonderful initiative, and something which is exclusively for women is welcome. And Kozhikode has been in the news and has been getting applause from across the country. Congratulations to all the members and to the very fine speaker today. All the very best. We are all ears listening to each one of you. All the very best.
Ashwati is a very dear friend of mine, and we've been together in Toastmasters. And she's very, I don't need to, in fact, introduce her to this part of the world, but I know there are some others in this group, in this session. For them, she's a TEDx speaker, and she's also a lawyer and psychologist. She's also founder of her own platform, that is SAMATHVA. And she's actually having an idea, and it's her own idea that she put across, that we will have an exclusive overnight staying camp for women. And that is a mental retreat for women. And this session is actually a curtain raiser. And without actually saying much, let me introduce today's trainer, Madam Aswathi Dinil, to take us through Inner Glow. Thank you, and over to Aswathi.
Thank you so much, Shaukat. And it is so nice to see so many people, and in particular also seeing a lot of men, because I'm not partial or gender biased. But the reason why I'm actually just starting in English, because I saw a few messages saying that could you make it in English? So just to put all of you at comfort, but I will also be doing both Malayalam and English. So the reason why I chose women and why I think it's of prominence is basically my life. So I, like Shaukat said, I'm a psychologist, and at 37, I realized that for years I wanted to do law, and I've always kept it back. Kuttigal, husband, business, job, so many things stopping me, right? So then one fine day I thought, if not, I'll never do this again. So I thought, let me just give it a shot. So I wrote the Kerala entrance. I got into the top 100 rank. I got into Kozhikode Law College. I enrolled for law. And now I'm going outside Kerala to do my master's. And many a days when I was struggling or shuffling both my work and my studies and my children and my family, there were times in the night I would just lie down on the bed and think, oh my God, this is heaven. Oof, I'm sure a lot of women here feel like that at the end of the day. In the night when we lie down, it's just that all your responsibilities through the day have just been placed somewhere. And It's not just women. I would never restrict it to women. It's just that I'm a little more favorable for women because as men always have a lot of opportunities. ഇതിനൊക്കെ ഒരു ഔട്ട്ലെറ്റ് അവർക്ക് മീറ്റിംഗ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും, അവർക്ക് ഫ്രണ്ട് ഗെറ്റ് അവേസ് കുറേ സാധനങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാവും. ബട്ട് ഫോർ വിമൻ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഓൾവേസ് റെസ്ട്രിക്റ്റഡ്. നമ്മുടെ ഔട്ട്ലെറ്റ്സ് ആർ വെരി റെസ്ട്രിക്റ്റഡ്. അപ്പോൾ കുറേ സാധനങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ ഉള്ളിൽ തന്നെ ഇന്റേണലൈസ് ചെയ്യാണ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുക. ആൻഡ് ഐ ഓൾവേസ് ഫീൽ നമുക്ക് കുറേ സ്ട്രെസ് വരുമ്പോൾ ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ് യുവർ ഗ്ലോ ഇസ് ഗോൺ. ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മളൊരാളെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഒരു 10 കാര്യം തലയിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഓടുണ്ടാവും. സോ യു ഹാർഡ്ലി രജിസ്റ്റർ വാട്ട്സ് ഹാപ്പനിങ് ബിക്കോസ് ദർ ആർ സോ മെനി തിങ്സ് യു ആർ തിങ്കിങ്, which is why I took one part of a quality or a characteristic or a character that we need to build on, and that is resilience. So ഈ ഒരു വർക്ക്ഷോപ്പ് or rather ഒരു 1 hour നമ്മളിവിടെ we are just going to do a lot of discussion. It's not going to be a one sided training, or I would not even want to call it a training. I'd want to call it a discussion. So I'm going to be posing questions. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് chat box-ൽ ഇടാം. Certain questions, certain കാര്യങ്ങൾ chat box-ൽ ഇടാം. Certain കാര്യങ്ങൾ I will tell you to unmute and speak. Is that okay? If that's okay, give me a thumbs up. Those who are on screen, you can give me an actual thumbs up. Those who have off their videos, you can just give me, yes, Shaukat, exactly. That's what I was referring to. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start. So I'd like to start by first telling me, like you all have to put an emoticon that, yeah, an emoticon that talks about how you're feeling today. Like, how are you feeling today? Just put an emoticon that is suggestive of how you feel today. Oh, Devaki, I love your thing. You can put it in the chat box, or you can choose to put it on your window. Like, how are you feeling today? Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you anxious? Are you struggling? Are you overwhelmed? Can be anything. There's a party. Somebody is partying. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Now I want to ask you another question. ഇനി ചോദിക്കാൻ പോണത്, cool, Shaukat, you're feeling cool. We also always feel very cool looking at you. So, well, that's mutual. So I'd like to ask you, നമ്മൾ എപ്പോഴും കേൾക്കുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് റെസിലിയൻസ് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യണം. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഭയങ്കര റെസിലിയൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, ഇത് ഭയങ്കര ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക് ആണ്. പക്ഷെ എന്താ ഈ റെസിലിയൻസ്? വാട്ട് ഈസ് റെസിലിയൻസ്? ജസ്റ്റ് ടെൽ മീ വാട്ട് എവർ യു നോ അബൌട്ട് ഇറ്റ്. ഇറ്റ് ഡസൻ ഹാവ് ടു ബി എൻ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ. ChatGPT നോക്കേണ്ട ഒരു ആവശ്യമില്ല. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താ തോന്നണേ, ലൈക്ക് എന്താ നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിൽ റെസിലിയൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ എന്താ തോന്നണേ? Just type that answer to me. Just put it on the chat window. All men, please participate, because you are a very, very crucial part of women. It's like a half-half. One person, for me, it's half man and half woman. So all men, I'd love for you to participate as well. Bounce back, okay. What else does resilience mean? And that's a very resilient person. I mean, so amazing. Okay, getting back to normal. Yep, all of this, all of what you've been telling me. Yeah. So as a woman, you have a lot of setbacks. You have a lot of things that do not go right. And I don't know of any women who are not multitaskers. It's not something that we love. Nammal choice, എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര ഇഷ്ടം multitasking. ഞാൻ കുറച്ച് multitask ചെയ്യട്ടെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് വാങ്ങുന്നതൊന്നല്ല. But we have it. We have to do it. So, ഈ setbacks വരുമ്പോഴും ഈ difficulties വരുമ്പോഴും maybe നമ്മൾ വിചാരിക്കുന്ന പോലെ ലൈഫ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവുക. I mean, there might be hardships. Everybody does not, it's not as smooth as you think. So basically it is about getting back from where you fall. It's okay to fall. Like, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും വീഴും, നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സെറ്റ് ബാക്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും. അന്നൊരു ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ഭയങ്കര വലിയൊരു കാര്യമല്ല. പക്ഷെ എത്ര വലുതായാലും പ്രോബ്ലം, അവിടുന്ന് എണീക്കാനുള്ള കറേജ് ടു ഗെറ്റ് ബാക്ക് ഓൺ യുവർ ഫീറ്റ് ആൻഡ് കീപ് മൂവിങ്. സോ അതിന് ഞാൻ ഒരു ഭയങ്കര ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് സംതിങ് ദാറ്റ് ഐ ഓൾവേസ് തിങ്ക്, എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം, അത് ഒരു പിക്ചർ ഉള്ളത് എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഒരു റേസിലാണ്. Right? നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും റേസിലാണ്. So we are all trying to go to the finish line, which is probably the end of your life or end of whatever. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ആ ഫിനിഷിംഗ് ലൈനിലേക്ക് മൂവ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കുന്നത്. So I would suggest that you don't even have to look at who's running on this side or that side. It doesn't even matter. പക്ഷെ ആ റേസ് നമ്മൾ വിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ പേസിലായിരിക്കണം, at your own pace. So resilience is that courage you have to get up on your feet and run your race at your own pace. Like, that's the definition that I bring to resilience. Now I'm just going to share a presentation. Just give me a minute. So today, I mean, all of you, it's not about being perfect at all. Like, I just want you to be real. Let's discuss. Like Shaukat said, into a long time, like a dream or something, dream or a goal is to have a mental health wellness retreat for women. And now we're going to talk about why it's important and why ഇതൊന്നും ആർക്കും അറിയാത്ത കാര്യങ്ങളോ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കേൾക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നല്ല. These are things that we all know, but I want all of you to have it at the top of your mind after you leave today. So I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about some things that are important for resilience. The first thing being self-awareness. What do you mean by self-awareness? What do you mean by self-awareness? Not the dictionary meaning, but നമ്മൾ റെസിലിയൻസിന് സെൽഫ് അവയർനെസ് വേണമെന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താ? Like, what does it mean?
You should know what you are at the present moment.
Okay. Yes. And if you have to connect self-awareness to resilience, how would you make that connection? Know about yourself? Yes. Yes. So നമുക്ക് generally
Know about
yes. Tell me.
know about your strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely. Yes. Knowing oneself. Now to expand that, all of you are absolutely right. Now to expand, that a little bit. Self-awareness is actually the foundation of where we all lie. Okay. It is how we respond to responsibilities, how we respond to certain actions, how we respond to people as such. So many a times നമ്മൾ പല സമയത്തും നമുക്ക് എന്താ ഉണ്ടാവുക വെച്ചാൽ വി ആർ ഭയങ്കര എക്സോസ്റ്റഡ് ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ആ എക്സോഷനിലും വി ജസ്റ്റ് കീപ് ഗോയിങ് ബിക്കോസ് നമുക്ക് വി ആർ അൺഎബിൾ ടു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഇറ്റ്സ് ടൈം ടു പോസ്. I mean, I think all women, everybody must have gone through it. I don't know of any woman who sometimes takes the time for herself in spite of being exhausted and you've 100 things to do for others. So it's understanding your own emotions, like understanding on a bad day probably you're screaming at everybody, you're നമ്മൾ ജനറലി ഭയങ്കര പൊളൈറ്റും കാം ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരാള് ഭയങ്കര ഇറിറ്റേറ്റഡ് ആണ്, നമ്മൾ എല്ലായിടത്തും ദേഷ്യപ്പെടുന്നു. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾസോ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് യുവർ ഇമോഷൻ, അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് വൈ യു ഫീൽ ദാറ്റ് വേ. That is a process in itself. You may understand yourself, you may know your strengths and weaknesses, but sometimes when a day is not going right or something is not going right, also understanding എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഫീൽ ചെയ്യണത്, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ കാര്യം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ശരിയായി പോവാത്തത്. So then you connect it to your strengths and weaknesses, right? So it's also being in touch with your personal self, reconnecting to what you are actually. ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാവരും പറയും like jealousy is a very bad എന്താ പറയാ, is a very bad characteristic to have. Being angry is very bad. Well, I would like maybe just not agree as much with that, because ഇതൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് വേണ്ട ഇമോഷൻസ് ആണ്, ഇതൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് ഉള്ളതാണ്. I don't think there is any person who's never felt jealous in their life. I mean, never felt it. These are all, there is nothing called negative emotions. Emotions become negative when you are not able to control it, when you are not able to understand how to put it in, and when it comes out as something very as something that's very destructive. So self-awareness is also understanding you have all the emotions in you, but understanding also that why you feel in a particular way in some situation. So we are just a lot of us നമ്മളുടെ I've heard കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ പറയുന്നത് that കുട്ടികൾ പഠിച്ച് ഇറങ്ങി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ, കോളേജ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഇനി എനിക്ക് എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന് അറിയില്ല, ഇപ്പൊ വീട്ടിൽ ആരും ഇല്ല. ഹാവ് യു ഹേർഡ് ദാറ്റ്? ഹാവ് യു ഹേർഡ് പീപ്പിൾ സേയിങ് ദാറ്റ്? പഠിച്ചു പോയി, ഇനിയിപ്പോ ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാനില്ല, ഞാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? സോ ഓവർ ടൈം യു ആക്ച്വലി ലൂസ് യുവർ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി. നമ്മൾ കുറേ നമ്മുടെ ഫാമിലിക്കും നമുക്ക് വി പ്ലേ സോ മെനി റോൾസ്, മദർ, ഡോട്ടർ ഇൻ ലോ, പ്രൊഫഷണൽ, I don't know, driver, plumber, everything. We play all the roles. ഇപ്പൊ ഈ റോൾസ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ പ്ലേ ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോൾ സംടൈംസ് യുവർ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി ഈസ് ലോസ്റ്റ്. യു ഡോണ്ട് നോ ഹൂ യു ആർ. ലൈക്ക് ഈ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ഒക്കെ എന്തെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് most women who are mothers, അവരുടെ കുട്ടികൾ when they fly off the nest, you can't recognize yourself anymore. ഒന്നും ചെയ്യാനില്ല, ഞാൻ എന്താ ചെയ്യണ്ടേ, ഞാൻ ആരാ, എൻ്റെ ലൈക്സ്, you've just completely lost it. It's an identity theft. And it's important understanding that we all have our own identities. നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും നമ്മുടെ own self ഉണ്ട്. So that is not something that you give away, or that is not something that you lose in the way. Appo self-awareness is not just, I don't know who's talking, somebody has to mute themselves. Okay. Yeah. So self-awareness is not just understanding your strengths and weaknesses. It's also understanding that namakku oru identity ഉണ്ട്. നമുക്ക് emotional needs ഉണ്ട്. If you want to cry, you cry. Like you have your own needs. It doesn't always have to be dependent on somebody else. Okay. So I would like want to extend self-awareness like that. And in the chat box, I also want you to tell me what is one emotion that you've been carrying for a long time that's probably putting you down or weighing you down. We all have those emotions. So, what is one emotion that has been weighing you down? It can be anything. But emotion, I told you, word you can write what you've been feeling, like what has been putting you down. Please put it in the chat box. And I would request everybody to please participate, because this is, like I told you, this is not rocket science, neither is it anything new, but these are things probably that's there in the back of your head and I want to bring it on top. So I just want you to tell me one emotion that കുറെ കാലമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ വേ ഡൗൺ ചെയ്യുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോവാൻ ഒരു ബ്ലോക്ക് ആയിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നു. വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് ഫീലിംഗ് ഓർ ഇമോഷൻ? Jasila, I understand that so much, because I lost my father 8 years and I don't think I have still moved on in certain parts of my life. So I understand that. Yes. Expectation. Oh, yes. Weight of expectation is very heavy. Everybody else, what is one emotion or what is one thing that has been stopping you? Please write it in the chat box so that we have a few more answers. Nobody else has any emotions that are weighing you down? Oh, wow. I'm talking to a very empowered bunch then. All right, I'm going to move on. Health. Yes. Well, that's something that we always have to take priority for. We are taking care of everybody else's health, that sometimes you just forget that you are also needed to be taken care of. Right. So I'm moving on to the next point. So I've just, I've just put out a quote which I felt very significant for the point that we're discussing. You cannot heal a life you never pause long enough to feel. Until and unless you pause your life and feel and understand what you are, you can never heal another life. Until and unless you are happy being yourself, you can never make another person happy. Your kids will be happy if you're happy. It's as simple as that. Because I don't know, ഞാൻ എക്സ്ക്യൂസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് റൈറ്റ് ആണോ എന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. പക്ഷെ പല ആൾക്കാരെയും ഐ അഡ്രസ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് വിമൻ. അപ്പം ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും ചോദിക്കും എന്താ, ചിലപ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര എഡ്യൂക്കേറ്റഡ് ആയ ആൾക്കാരോ ഭയങ്കര കഴിവുള്ള ആൾക്കാരോ ഒക്കെ ആകുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കും എന്താ ചെയ്യണേ. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് പറയും ഒന്നും ചെയ്യണില്ല, എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് തന്നെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്, അപ്പോൾ കുട്ടികൾ വലുതായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യാം. Your children will grow up even if you're working or doing something with your life. Think about it. Isn't an excuse that you give yourself because you're in a comfort zone? It's just a question. It's not a statement or an answer. നമ്മൾ ഈ കുട്ടികൾ വലുതായിട്ട് ചെയ്യാം, കുട്ടികൾ ചെറുതാ, ഓക്കെ, ഐ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ്സ് 1 or 2 years and all that. Of course, I understand that. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ ജീവിക്കുകയാണ്, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ശരിക്കും അതാണോ? അതോ നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ കംഫർട്ട് സോണിൽ നിന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി, നമുക്കൊരു ടെൻഷൻ ഉണ്ട്, ഇതിന്ന് ഇറങ്ങി നൗ വാട്ട് എന്നുള്ളൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമുക്ക് ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ളൊരു പേടിയാണോ എന്ന് you should ask yourself. It's just a question I pose to all of you. So, yeah. The next point is emotional regulation. We talked about self-awareness. What do you think emotional regulation is? Why I want you to discuss this is it's not something that I'm going to tell you that ingenekka cheyanam, ningal idakka cheyanam. So I also want to know what you feel about all this. What do you think is emotional regulation? It's a very
understanding our emotions
Mhm.
and finding solutions to overcome that.
What was your first word? I forgot.
Understanding
Understanding.
our own
Okay.
emotions.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe
Right.
identifying
Yeah.
what is as you were asking, like what weighs you down? Is there any emotion that weighs you down?
Yeah.
So sometimes like some of us did not answer. Why? Because I was keeping on thinking what actually it is. There may be several reasons, not just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which one to put?
Yeah.
So we have to actually identify what
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So ഇത് ഈ emotional regulation എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു സാധനം is very what do you say, misinterpreted many a times. കുറെ ആൾക്കാർ പറയും ഇമോഷൻസ് നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് കാണിക്കരുത്, ഇമോഷൻസ് നമ്മൾ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യണം. But emotional regulation is not basically not showing your emotions, because we go through everything. It is exactly what Devki said, that you need to know how to handle it. It's not that you don't show your emotion or you don't feel it. You might feel a lot of anger. Especially as women, our hormones are all over the place. So some days you don't even know why. Actually, so we have ഭയങ്കര ദേഷ്യം വരുന്ന സാധനങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഈ ദേഷ്യം കാണിക്കുന്നത്, ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എൻ ഔട്ട്ലെറ്റ്, നമുക്ക് ഓക്കെയാണ്. ബട്ട് ദെൻ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ദാറ്റ്? നമ്മൾ ഹേൾ ചെയ്ത ആങ്കർ, ഹേൾ ചെയ്ത ആളുടെ മൂഡ്, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമുക്ക് തോന്നുന്ന ഒരു റിഗ്രറ്റ്, ഷോ വേണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എന്തിനാ അത് ചെയ്തത്, അത്. സോ യു ഹാവ് ടു ബാറ്റിൽ വിത്ത് സോ മെനി ഇമോഷൻസ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ദാറ്റ്. അപ്പം ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ദാറ്റ് നമ്മൾ ദേഷ്യം കാണിക്കരുതെന്ന്. ആ ദേഷ്യം എങ്ങനെയാണ് കൂടുതൽ ഡിസ്റ്റർബൻസസ് വരുത്താണ്ട് കാണിക്കാൻ പറ്റുക? ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് യുവർ ഓൺ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി. Okay, so for me, I'm not a very calm person, actually. So I do get angry many times, and I have realized that ഞാൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ ദേഷ്യം വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ എല്ലാം പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എനിക്ക് പിന്നെ ഒരു റിഗ്രറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. ഒരു അരമണിക്കൂർ ഞാൻ ഇരുന്ന് നോക്കും, എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമായിരുന്നു, പക്ഷേ എന്തിനാപ്പം ഞാൻ അത് പറഞ്ഞത്. പിന്നെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ആളോട് പോയി സോറി പറയണം. അങ്ങനെ കുറേ കുട്ടികളാണെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് ഐ വിൽ ബൈ യു എൻ ഐസ്ക്രീം, ഐ എം സോറി. ഇത് ഭയങ്കര ധനനഷ്ടവും emotionally it's also very taxing to do all that. So I thought, okay, now what I'm going to do is, either when I'm very angry, I will walk out of that place. I will just move away. Not that I will just close the door and walk out, and I'll just move away until I'm able to എനിക്കത് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന വരെ ഞാൻ ആ സ്ഥലത്തുനിന്ന് മാറും. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഐ ജസ്റ്റ് പോസ് എ മിനിറ്റ്. ബേസിക്കലി നമുക്ക് ദേഷ്യം വരുമ്പോൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക വെച്ചാൽ, ഒരു സാധനം വരുമ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ക്വിക്ക് ഇൻസ്റ്റന്റ് റിയാക്ഷൻ. It's because we don't take that time to think. You're so angry, you just say it out. So now I just keep quiet. I just take a minute. It's not that I'm totally in but at least it's helped me. It's helped me from where I was to maybe just take a minute and think about, why did the other person say like that, and then react. Doesn't happen overnight. But these are there are many times that നമ്മുടെ emotions, it gets the better of us. That നമുക്ക് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് സ്പോയിൽ ചെയ്തതാവാം, നമ്മുടെ ഓൺ ദിവസം സ്പോയിൽ ആവും. നമുക്ക് ദേഷ്യം വരുമ്പോൾ ആക്ച്വലി ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരുടെ ഡേ മാത്രമല്ല, ഈവൻ യോർ ഡേ സ്പോയിൽ. സോ നമുക്ക് ഇമോഷൻസ് തോന്നരുത് എന്നല്ല, ബട്ട് ഹൗ ഡു യു ഹാൻഡിൽ ഇറ്റ് ഇൻ സച്ച് എ വേ ദാറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഡസ് നോട്ട് കോസ്റ്റ് യു ഹാം, നെയ്തർ to the people around us. That is emotional regulation. A lot of times people say controlling your emotions, പിന്നെ emotions കാണിക്കരുത്. So that is not emotional. Emotion കാണിച്ചില്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് ഉള്ളിലേക്ക് പോകും. അത് you suppress it and someday it will all come out. So that is not healthy at all. It is about showing an emotion, but how to put it in the best possible way you can exhibit that emotion. Okay, so that is emotional regulation. And as women, I think we have so many things. നമുക്ക് mental exhaustion, നമ്മൾ overthinkingന്റെ ക്വീൻസ് ആണ്. ലൈക്ക് ഒരു ചെറിയ സാധനം ഏത് വരെ കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നുള്ളത് ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മളുടെ ബ്രെയിൻ പാറ്റേൺ ഒക്കെ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഐ തിങ്ക് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി കെപ്റ്റ് ഇൻ സം മ്യൂസിയം. ബിക്കോസ് ഫ്രം ദിസ് തിങ് വി തിങ്ക് ഇത്ര, ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് ബി ഹിയർ. ആൻഡ് അറ്റ് ദി എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദ തോട്ട് പ്രോസസ് യു ആർ തിങ്കിങ് ഫ്രം വേർ ഡിഡ് ഇറ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട്, എവിടെയായിരുന്നു തുടങ്ങിയത്, എന്തായിരുന്നു ഇത് പറഞ്ഞത്, അതുപോലെ ഓർമ്മ ഉണ്ടാവും. ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിച്ച് അങ്ങോട്ട് പോയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. സോ അത് എങ്ങനെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യണം, എവിടെ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി. ഐ കാൺ ടെൽ യു വൺ സ്ട്രാറ്റജി ഫോർ എവറിബഡി. മീൻസ് ഓരോ ആൾക്കാർക്കും ഓരോ പോലത്തെ സാധനങ്ങളാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. സോ ഓൾ ഓഫ് us ആർ വെരി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. നമ്മൾ അപ്ബ്രിങ്ങിങ്, നമ്മുടെ വാല്യൂസ്, നമ്മുടെ ഫാമിലീസ്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു സ്ട്രാറ്റജി, ദർ ഇസ് നോ വൺ മെത്തേഡ് ദാറ്റ് വർക്ക്സ് ഫോർ ഓൾ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോക്കി എന്താണോ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക. ഇപ്പോൾ ഓവർ തിങ്കിങ് ആക്ച്വലി ഐ റെഡ് ഇൻ എ ബുക്ക് ദാറ്റ് നമ്മൾ ഓവർ തിങ്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് എപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ തലയിൽ യു ഇമാജിൻ ആൻ ഇൻവിസിബിൾ വാൾ, ഒരു വലിയ വാൾ. എന്നിട്ട് അത് വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് whenever you overthink, think that wall is coming down on you. അപ്പോൾ you'll stop that there. So that's one thing that really worked for me. I don't remember which book I read it. So അത് എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണ കാര്യം. സോ എല്ലാവർക്കും അവരുടെ ഓൺ മെത്തഡോളജീസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. പക്ഷെ you find your own ball or I don't know, knife or whatever it is, or you imagine in your head that whatever you're saying, imagine it in your head so that you're not saying it out of your mouth. Okay, so and we have this fear of disappointing people. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് അത് വിമന് ഇറ്റ്സ് മച്ച് ഹയർ, ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മൾ maybe because the Indian system, after we marry, we have to sort of, we are overwhelmed by the number of family members that come into our lives. നിറയെ ആൾക്കാരും നിറയെ ഒപ്പീനിയൻസും നിറയെ സജഷൻസും, everybody has a say on what you have to do. So sometimes it can be very, very overwhelming because നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യേണ്ട കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ ഒരാളെ ഡിസപ്പോയിന്റ് ചെയ്യണ്ടെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യാണ്ടിരിക്കും. നമ്മൾ കെയർ ഗിവിങ് സ്ട്രെസ് ഉണ്ടാവും, വയസ്സായ ആൾക്കാരെ നോക്കുക. All this is on women. So I'm sorry to all the men out here, but this is the hard truth. So all that comes on the women. So there's a lot of emotions that play. അപ്പോൾ അത് കാണിക്കാണ്ടിരുന്നാൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ഹെൽത്തി. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളത് റെഗുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ അത് ഏറ്റവും കാമസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് പുറത്ത് വിടാം. ആൻഡ് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ആദ്യത്തെ പോയിന്റ് ആണ് സെൽഫ് അവയർനെസ്. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ദേഷ്യം വരുന്നത്? ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ദേഷ്യം? Maybe you're PMSing. I'm just giving an example. There are many reasons why you're angry. If you're PMSing, it might not be the same thing as something that's already there in your head. Maybe നമ്മളൊരു വഴക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ബാക്ക്ലോഗ് ആയിരിക്കും ദേഷ്യം വരുന്നത്. Everything has different things, right? Every emotion has different reasons. അപ്പോൾ it's also important to be aware as to എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഇമോഷൻ തോന്നുന്നത്. Like, why are you feeling this emotion is very important, right? So self-awareness കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് the most important thing is emotional regulation. Now, emotional regulation, a very important thing is something called the 4-4 breathing. Okay, that is inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 4 seconds. Count till 4 and inhale, count till 4 and exhale. So I'll just quickly take you through it once. It's an amazing, it's called calm in chaos method. When you're very chaotic, when everything seems very chaotic, take a minute, because ഇത് എവിടെ നിന്ന് ചെയ്താലും ആരും അറിയൊന്നുമില്ല. I'm not telling you to do yoga because maybe നമുക്ക് ഭയങ്കര സ്ട്രെസ് ആകുമ്പോൾ ഒരു യോഗ മാറ്റ് ഇട്ടിട്ട് യോഗ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ലായിരിക്കും. But this is something you can do anywhere, any corner, any side. Take a minute, breathe for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, breathe in for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts. So I'll just take you through it thrice. Tell me what you feel in your, try to acknowledge if there's any change in your body or what you're feeling. Okay, I'll just take you through it. Yeah, so on my count of 1 to 4, you inhale, and from my count from 1 to 4, exhale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just making you do it twice, lest it looks like a yoga session. So this, did you feel like എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു വ്യത്യാസം ആ ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് പാസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ? Do you think it might help you with your emotions if you're able to do this when you're overwhelmed by some emotion? It's not just anger. ചില ദിവസം ഭയങ്കര സങ്കടം, ഒരു രക്ഷയില്ല, എന്തിനാ സങ്കടം വരുന്നതെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ don't know. എന്തെങ്കിലും pent up emotion ആയിരിക്കാം. It could be something. Somebody talked about the loss of their parents. That's a huge grief. Like, that's a huge grief. And some days it gets the better of you. You just don't know why you can't function, but you have to function. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഏതൊരു ഇമോഷൻ നമുക്ക് ഓവർവെൽം ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോഴും ഈ ഒരു മെത്തേഡ് ഇസ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് കോൾഡ് ദ 4 calm in chaos 4-on-4. It's called calm in chaos. So just try this. എവിടെ ഇരുന്നിട്ടാണെങ്കിലും നമുക്കിത് ചെയ്യാം. Alright. So this is the quote that I found from this. Strength is not controlling emotions. It's about learning how to hold them without drowning in it, which is exactly what I said. It's not controlling, but managing those emotions so that it does not get the better of you and the better of people around you. Yeah. Now, the third thing is building boundaries. Okay. This is one thing that is so difficult for most people. What is the most difficult thing for most people in relationships? Tell me. Let me see if I'm going to get a right answer. I'm hoping I will, because it's something that's very common. What do you think is one thing that is so difficult for women, men, anybody? Yeah.
Not knowing what the other person has in mind.
Not knowing what the other person has in mind. Okay. But I'm looking for one particular answer which stands true for most women in particular.
Say no to others.
Very good. Who said that?
Srijaya.
Oh, yes, Srijaya. That is exactly, it is so difficult. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
There are so many times when ഒരു സാധനം വന്ന് തരുമ്പോൾ ആദ്യം തന്നെ വന്നു എന്നാണ് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിൽ വിചാരിക്കുക. പക്ഷെ അവർ പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിനെന്താ, ഞാൻ ചെയ്യാലോ, പോവാലോ. And in your mind, you're thinking, ഇതിപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ I'm so tired, but you will go ahead and do it. And at the end of the day, you will be exhausted.
And suppose if you have the character not that, everyone should say good about you always.
Yes.
If you have that mentality, means it is very difficult.
Correct. Very right. Very right. So this is what Namala, we are coming back to our, yes, Ashok sir, difficult to express when we do not like something. Exactly. Exactly. Saying no, putting that boundary of things that we like and we don't like. Either basically approach, I mean, the root of it is that we എല്ലാവരെയും സന്തോഷിപ്പിക്കണം എല്ലാവരും സന്തോഷിക്കണം എനിക്ക് സന്തോഷമില്ലെങ്കിലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല എല്ലാവരും സന്തോഷിക്കട്ടെ. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because at the end of it, you have a, like a burnout. So many people have burnouts. I know a lot of my friends who come and tell me, I'm done with I'm done with doing things for others. I don't see anything being done for me. Nobody's forcing you to do it. See, no എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സാധനം, can you come out with me? No, I can't. I'm busy. Is one way of saying it. The other way, can we go out another day? Is also another way of saying it. It doesn't have to be rude or നമുക്ക് ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടാത്ത രീതിക്ക് പറയണമെന്നില്ല. You can give another option. So it is understood that today I can't come out with you. As simple as that, right? But it is so important keeping boundaries. I mean, if I'm going to offend somebody by saying this, I'm sorry, but no see relatives is another problem that we really face. I mean, you don't know how to like stay away or how to keep that boundary. There are people who നമുക്ക് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ഇമോഷണലി എക്സോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടാവും, നമ്മുടെ ഇമോഷണൽ ഡ്രെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും. യു സ്റ്റിൽ പുട്ട് അപ്പ് വിത്ത് ഇറ്റ്. Like I had a friend a few years ago. She was a very close friend of mine, but I realized that means ഞാൻ സംസാരിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ she drains me so much that ഈ ഒരു conversation കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ I'm sometimes on the bed and I'm thinking, എനിക്ക് തലവേദന എടുത്തിട്ട് വയ്യ, and I would take her call because she would always be in need of some help or she has something to say or something sad. So കുറെ കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ I understood that എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര energy draining ആണ് ഈ person. If I don't say or if I don't tell her that, I'm having a hard day myself, let's talk another day, it's going to spoil my day. എൻ്റെ ദിവസവും പോവും ഞാൻ അത് കേട്ടിട്ട് ഞാൻ വേറെ ആളുടെ സന്തോഷത്തിന് വേണ്ടി എൻ്റെ ഒരു എൻറ്റയർ it's not selfish to put boundaries. As women, we are taught that it is selfish to think about others. I mean, think about yourself, sorry. Think about yourself. എല്ലാവരും നമ്മൾ പ്രേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, വെരി ഗുഡ്, യു ആർ സാക്രിഫൈസിങ് സോ മച്ച്, സച്ച് എ ഗ്രേറ്റ് സ്ട്രോങ് വുമൻ. She only thinks about others. She never thinks about yourself. Don't take it as a compliment. It's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. Because I know that at many stages of my life, I've heard that, you've put aside stuff for you. And I thought, oh, Mother Teresa, like that, Bangara Sambhavam. But then I realized there's nothing. You are actually playing with your own emotions and putting yourself down by doing things that sometimes you don't want to do. So my point being that each പെറ്റില്ല എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കാര്യമോ നോ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കാര്യമോ നമുക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമില്ലാത്ത പറയുന്ന കാര്യമോ അത് ഇഷ്ടമില്ല എന്ന് പറയുന്നേക്കാട്ടിലും ബെറ്റർ ഐ ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ് ബെറ്റർ is also a way of saying it. It's not about saying no, it's about saying it in an amicable way. And even with people, you need to put your boundaries. If there is somebody who is very toxic in your life or is very difficult in your life, I don't see a reason why you need to put up with that person at the risk of losing yourself. നമ്മളുടെ ബൗണ്ടറീസ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യാത്ത കാരണം വി ഫോൾ ഇൻ ടു റോൾസ് ദാറ്റ് അതർ പീപ്പിൾ സെറ്റ് ഫോർ us. വളരെ സാക്രിഫൈസിങ്, വളരെ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ആയ വൈഫ്, ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ അല്ല കേട്ടോ, ഡ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ, വളരെ ഡ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ആയ വൈഫ്, വളരെ ഡോട്ടിങ് മദർ. ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് വാട്ട് അവർ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി ഇസ് ഓൾ അബൌട്ട്? Like a woman and a mother, daughter, is that these are all questions for yourself. This is just a post, and answers on the manda. I'm just giving you food for thought. Adano nammade role, ado nammade life le namukku oru identity undo, adu build cheyano, adu lost ayo ennulla oru sadhanam is something that you need to really take care of. So I'm going to talk about ഞാൻ കുറച്ച് questions or statements ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ ഇതില് രണ്ട് കാര്യമാണ്. ഒരെണ്ണം ഹെൽത്തി ബൗണ്ടറി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സെൽഫിഷ് ഓർ അൺഹെൽത്തി. ഓക്കെ, കുറച്ച് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് ആണ്. സോ ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഹെൽത്തി ബൗണ്ടറി, യു ജസ്റ്റ് പുട്ട് എ തംസ് അപ്പ്. Okay, if you think that statement is unhealthy, put a thumbs down or don't put in. I don't know, thumbs up allanda. I'm still thinking what is there. Yeah, put a thumbs down. Okay, all right. Okay. I cannot emotionally handle this conversation right now. Is it a healthy boundary or it's unhealthy? I cannot handle this emotional. Yes. I'm just looking at one person. Yeah, exactly. It is a healthy boundary. I refuse accountability for my actions. I refuse accountability for my actions. Means ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ actionsന് answerable അല്ല. Yeah, it's unhealthy. I choose sleep instead of overworking. ഞാൻ overwork ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് പകരം എനിക്ക് ഉറക്കമാണ് എനിക്ക് important. Instead of overworking, I choose sleep. Working allo, yes, very, very healthy boundary. I said no, even though people got disappointed. It is a healthy boundary. Why? Because certain things which you don't want to do, like I will repeat myself, which you want to do, but you are scared to say a no because you disappoint people, is not a healthy boundary. You can actually set it and say it in a very nice way, right? I walk away from emotionally draining conversations. Yes, very much. I disappointed someone to avoid abandoning myself. Yes. I stopped over explaining my decisions. Yes. Devki is still thinking, no, alle. Right. So, we have this habit that I've always understood that നമുക്ക് ഒരു സാധനം നമ്മൾ കുറേ maybe at the fear of എല്ലാവരും accept ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഒരു സാധനം നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ explain, maybe ഒരു sentence ഉള്ള ഒരു സാധനമായിരിക്കും അത് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ explain ചെയ്ത്, you need the validity from everybody. You need that everybody to say, അടിപൊളി, that's good, or you can go, or whatever, permission, or whatever. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു സാധനം നമ്മൾ കുറേ അങ്ങോട്ട് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യും, ഒരു ആവശ്യം ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, ഒരു 2 സെന്റൻസ് തീർക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന സാധനമായിരിക്കും, ബട്ട് because of the fear of judgment, or fear of hearing a no, or fear of being judged, we just explain ourselves, which I think is not a healthy boundary. So ഈ ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് എല്ലാവരുടെയും ലൈഫിൽ ഉണ്ടാവാനുള്ള സാധ്യത ഞാൻ കാണുന്നു. There are people putting thumbs up in the in the box. Okay, I also read this thing, but many times people say yes as they personally enjoy saying yes and doing things. Yeah, that is definitely not, you don't have to say, if you like doing something, other boundary set cheyande avashyamillalo. That's absolutely fine. We are talking about setting boundaries, and we are talking about saying yes when it is a no in your head. It's not about people who like to do things. It's perfect. I mean, it's absolutely fine because you like it. പക്ഷെ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിൽ നോ ആണ്, പക്ഷെ പുറത്ത് വരാൻ verbally it is a yes because you're scared of disappointing or fear of being judged or whatever. So we have been made to feel guilty for choosing ourselves. Okay, because I will just tell you something on a very personal level. I'm just going to do my master's in law. Like, I have 2 young kids. So I had somebody who told me, means ഇപ്പൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകേണ്ട ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ, കുട്ടികളെ ആരും നോക്കും. Okay, so I chose not to answer that, but in my mind I thought it's enough to make me feel guilty and think that I വേണോ. It is enough. Okay, but I have everything sorted here. My kids are very self-sufficient. It is not just the mother's duty to take care of the kids. The father is equally responsible because we make them together. So we also take care of them together. So adonde these kind of statements are, over the years I've been counseling adults and children for the last 12 years. So over the years, these are things that I always hear, that അവർ അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു, അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര കുറ്റബോധം, ഇതൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് കേൾക്കണ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. So we are actually trained in such a way that we feel guilty for choosing ourselves. So please, it is something that is very normal. If you've not been choosing yourself, there is something abnormal, is what I will tell you at this point. Okay, so it is okay to choose yourself, and to set healthy boundaries. It is not a selfish act. It is not a selfish act for women. It is not a selfish act for men. It is not I'm not gender biased. It is very important to set those boundaries. Okay, this is, boundaries are the distance at which a woman can love others without abandoning herself. Okay, you don't lose yourself, yet you have a lot of love and respect for people. Right. Support systems, very, very, very important. Before I go on to talking a little bit about this, tell me, who is your biggest support system? I'd just like to know in the in the chat box. Who's your support? It can be anybody. It can even be a book. Okay. ഒരു book ആയിരിക്കും, നിങ്ങളുടെ religious text ആയിരിക്കും. Can be anything. Parents, wife. Nisar sir, I 100% know that your wife is your support because I know she's a very dear friend. I know how supportive she is. So right. നമ്മൾ ഈ സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റത്തിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ when we talk about support systems, your healing in life is always very difficult in isolation. Okay, അത് എപ്പോഴും ഒരു ഭയങ്കര ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് പ്രോസസ്സാണ്. So it's important to build a system around you. It can, like I told you, there are certain people who tell me that it is a religious text that is their biggest support system, or it is a book that has helped them get I don't know if it was an Instagram reel or it was somebody who told me about a book. They were going through a very difficult marriage and on the verge of divorce. So it was a friend who told me. He told me there was a particular book, I don't remember the book, that helped him get back on track, that helped him understand his emotions. So it can be anything, but also you always need people around you, and you're a result of the 5 people who surround you. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഇമോഷണലി ഡ്രെയിനിങ് ആയ ആൾക്കാരുടെ കൂടെയും വളരെ ടോക്സിക് ആയ ആൾക്കാരുടെയും കൂടെ ഇരുന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ട്രേസസ് ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഗോയിങ് ടു ഹീൽ യു ഇൻ എനി വേ. So it's important to build that support system. Okay, it's important to feel seen. It's important to feel heard. It's important to feel valued. Now, since I've told this, I want you to tell me why this person that you've talked about. In chat box, inke kore aalkare, daughter, husband, wife, parents, friends, okay, why is that person your support system? Like, that is the first person who came to your head. So for me, it's definitely my mother and of course, my family, but my mother would always stand in front. So there's a reason, because she is there, holds my hand through every dream of mine. It doesn't have to be a very typical path or a stereotypical path. It can be anything, but she's in it with me. So I want you to tell me, why do you think this person you've written in the chat window is your support system? എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ അവരെ support system എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്? Give me one reason, the first thing that comes into your head. ഞാൻ എന്ത് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ കുറേ സാധനങ്ങൾ തലയിൽ വരും, but tell me the first thing. Listening and relief? Yes. Understood? Yes. Yep. Uplifting, relief, mentally supporting, listening. Basically, they don't judge you. Am I right? They never judge you. They're not here to tell you that you're wrong or right. They're just here to tell you that, if at all something that you're doing is not right, they will tell you in the nicest way that why don't you do things this way. They're always going to hold your hand, right? So it's important that നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യണം. Okay, so we've talked about 4 points so far: self-awareness, emotional regulation, setting healthy boundaries, and support system, right? And we need that support system also because it's not fun to be lonely and dealing with your problems by yourself. It's always better when you have someone to share it with, someone who hears you without any judgment. Okay, right. Now the next one is, okay, this is very right? Women heal differently when they realize they no longer have to do everything alone. So it's important to build that support system. So I will leave that point here because it's all self-explanatory. The next one is self-worth. Before we go, I want you to look at these sentences and write and fill it for me. Like, take any one or any two or all the 4. It depends on what you want to do. And just fill that form for me and put it in the chat box. I deserve, I'm tired of, I wish people understood. That is pertaining to your life. Like, if I say, I deserve, for example, I deserve to be heard without being judged. എന്നാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നണമെങ്കിൽ അതാണ് എൻ്റെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് സെന്റൻസ്. ഇതിൽ ഏത് സെന്റൻസ് വേണമെങ്കിലും ടേക്ക് വൺ ഓഫ് ദീസ് സെന്റൻസസ് ആൻഡ് ഫിൽ ഇറ്റ് ഫോർ മീ ആൻഡ് പുട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ഇൻ ദ ചാനൽ, ഓർ ടേക്ക് 3. Like, it depends on friends, family, friends, colleagues, etc. are expected to be the normal support system. But if an individual fails to establish that support system, what are the options? Any tip to build up? See, so there is no strategy for you to find people who listen to you. That is something that you build over the years. Like, I can't tell you, why don't you go there? You might find some people to support you. That is something that you have to build over the years. It can be somebody you met in school. It can be somebody you met in college. It can be somebody you met 3 years back. It can even be somebody who you met 4 months back. So that there is no one give it all for everybody. Like നിങ്ങൾ എവിടെ പോയാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം കാണും എന്ന് പറയാൻ നമുക്ക് ആർക്കും പറ്റില്ല. ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മുടെ എന്താ പറയുക വേവ് ലെങ്ത് ഡിഫറെൻ്റ് ആണ്. നമ്മുടെ സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ വേവ് ലെങ്ത് ആയി മാച്ച് ചെയ്ത് സംബഡി ഹൂസ് ലിസ്ണിംഗ് ടു യു ആൻഡ് ടോക്കിംഗ് ടു യു വിത്തൗട്ട് ജഡ്ജിങ് യു അറ്റ് ഓൾ ഹാസ് accepted you for who you are. But that is something that you build. There is no place, there is no option. Unfortunately, there are no options I can give you because you find them at various places. So then it's important to go out and meet people. So that is one thing I'll tell you, that is important to go out and meet people. If you're going to sit by your own, you will never find a support system. നമ്മൾ എത്ര ആൾക്കാരോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്നോ നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ചെയ്യണോ, നമ്മൾ സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം ആഗ്രഹിക്കണ പോലെ നമ്മളും ആൾക്കാരുടെ സപ്പോർട്ട് സിസ്റ്റം ആവണം. It's not about just people being support system for us. It's always a give and take. You also end up being support system for so many people, right? So unfortunately, I can't give you a solution for meeting people. But I would say you have to go out, meet people, and you will find people who fall into that wavelength, right? If family offer you the required. Yeah, I think I've answered that question. Right. So you can probably actually unmute yourself and say, okay, what am I tired of? I'm tired of. Give me some answers. I'm tired of what? Chat ചെയ്യാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. I'm tired of
handling many things together, all alone.
Perfect. I deserve somebody else. I deserve. What do you deserve that you think you're not getting? I also think ഇത് കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ ആൻസർ ചെയ്യാത്ത because these questions put you in your vulnerable self. So I can also understand when people don't want to say this because it's completely understandable. So I'm just coaxing you to come out. But if you don't want to talk about, I completely understand. You don't have to tell me. You might want to look into yourself and answer this for yourself. Like, what do you deserve? What are you tired of? What do you think people understood? And what do you really want in life? സ്വന്തം ആലോചിച്ച് നമ്മൾ തന്നെ സ്വന്തം ആലോചിച്ചാൽ മതി, എന്നോട് പറയണം എന്നില്ല, because I'm very new. So it's fine if you're feeling a little vulnerable there. So yes, the next thing is rest and recovery, which is something that we don't do at all. We will just go on and on and on and on and on till we feel that in your minute I need 2 minutes. I just need break. I need a break for 2 minutes. So there are different kinds of rest. I'll just quickly run through it. We're not going to go too much into it. One is, of course, physical rest. We all know what it is. Just lying down, sleeping, nothing more than that. So, of course, it manifests in many ways. You get headaches, you get fatigues, which namukka ariyana oru karya. So that's something I'm going to talk about. The next one is emotional rest. Like you absorb, കുട്ടികൾ ഒരു ദിവസം ബാഡ് ഡേ അത് അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്യും, ഹസ്ബൻഡ് ഹാസ് എ ബാഡ് ഡേ അതും അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്യും, മദറിലോണ് സുഖമില്ല അതും അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്യും, മദറിന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ പ്രശ്നം അതും നമ്മൾ അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്യും, എല്ലാവരുടെ ഇമോഷൻസും നമ്മുടെ തലയിൽ. സോ വാട്ട് യു ഡു വിത്ത് യുവർ ഓൺ ഇമോഷൻസ്? ലൈക്ക് വേർ ഡസ് ദാറ്റ് ഗോ? ദാറ്റ് ഓൾസോ ഗോസ്. So some of the signs that you know you need emotional rest is when you're very irritated and when you're numb. Because there are പല ഒക്കേഷൻസിൽ നമുക്കൊരു ഇമോഷൻ നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ നമ്പ് ആയിരിക്കും. ലൈക്ക് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഒരു I've been there so many times that നമുക്ക് ഒന്നും തോന്നില്ല. ഒരു സാധനം മേ ബി സങ്കടം വരേണ്ട സാധനമായിരിക്കും. You'll not feel anything. You'll just be so numb. So these are feeling like there is too much. Like, oh, you keep telling yourself, no, there's too much. My God, I'm going through. These are all signs to tell you that it's time to rest emotionally. And how does that look like? How does emotional rest look like? What do you think emotional rest looks like? Anybody? Anything? Chat box? Is it in the chat box? We need to add rest. Yes, definitely we need to take breaks, appreciation, tired of complaints. Yes. Yeah, being honest about your feelings, telling when somebody asks you, are you okay? How many times do we say, yeah, I'm okay, when you are like struggling like so much inside? It's okay to say, it's okay to be not okay. Just telling people that you're not okay, being honest about your feelings, spending time with people who make you emotionally safe. Like I told you, this is where we come to the support group. Like being with those people who you can just talk about after a bad day. You can just tell them that, this is what it is. I can't do this anymore. And just letting it out. Right? Now we come to social rest. I'm also guilty of this. But there are many times you get calls and you don't want to take it. You don't take it because you don't want to talk. You love the person, but you don't want to talk. It's nothing to do with the person. And you feel drained after a conversation. You're like, yo, എന്തൊരു കഷ്ടമാണ് എനിക്ക് ഒന്ന് കിടന്നാ മതി types. Okay, or you just crave to be alone, like just crave to be alone. So these are signs that you need to be away from your social interactions for some time. It's not that ആഴ്ചകള് hibernation പോകണമെന്നല്ല, but that you need to take some time off for yourself. So it just means spending some time alone with yourself and sort of being around people who do not require performance, like who do not require too much of effort. Because you're putting, there will also be people in your life നമുക്ക് ഒട്ടും എഫേർട്ട് ഇല്ലാണ്ട് അവർ നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ. So being around people like that is the best way to socially rest. Sensory rest from constant stimulation. It's like the digital rest from phones and phone. You know for a fact because your eyes are hot, your head is heavy, your shoulders are aching because you're looking at it. There are so many signs that give you for digital rest. Unfortunately, we are not the kind of people who sometimes take that rest. Lately, this is how a lot of us sleep. So I'm also not professing to be very good there, but it's something that's always been on my mind. And these are things, that something that you should probably do. Now, we'll come to, creative rest is not, it's a time when you feel a lack of excitement. I wouldn't say it's a very priority on the rest factor, all the others being much more interested. And spiritual rest also depends from person to person. Like there is an emotional emptiness. You feel disconnected. So that I wouldn't put it out for everybody. എല്ലാവരും അതുപോലെ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയില്ല, because it's again person to person, because it can be prayer, it can be meditation, it can be a gratitude journal, it can be a journal as such. എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ആവാം. So നമുക്ക് prayer എല്ലാവരും everybody here might not be people who believe in a person above. So it all depends from person to person. You can even have a gratitude journal where you thank people, and you think about the yes sir, light noise journaling is perfect. And so what I do is also that I have a lot of photos, family photos, and the best moments in my life put up on the wall. So for me, when I feel very disconnected and I feel overwhelmed, looking at those photos just gives me a reminder on the good things that were there and the good things that stay ahead for me. So it's something that puts me back on track. So everybody puts up with their own strategies and all that, but these are the different kinds of rest. ഇപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് സോഷ്യൽ റെസ്റ്റ് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് സംസാരിക്കാൻ ഇഷ്ടമില്ല, അത് നമ്മൾ പോയി ഉറങ്ങിയാൽ തീരില്ല. So that you just need to keep away, just take some time for yourself and be with low maintenance friends, നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലേ, low maintenance friends. So these are the different kinds of rest we need as a woman. Rest is not a reward for exhaustion. It is a requirement for emotional survival. So many times for us, rest എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഭയങ്കര ക്ഷീണം, പോയി കിടന്ന് ഉറങ്ങട്ടെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ കുറച്ചു നേരം ബീച്ചിൽ പോയിരിക്കട്ടെ, എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര ക്ഷീണം. It is not for your exhaustion. It is very, very vital for emotional survival. So always keep that in your head. So when you know that you have reached a point where you need to just take off, it's not just because you'll be tired in some time and you want to take it off, but your emotions will get the better of you, right? And the next thing is reframing pain and failure, okay, which is again a very important thing, because I'll it's not something I intended to say here today, but nevertheless I will say it here because it's something that will make a lot of sense for people. I think I will take another 10 minutes if that's okay. Shamima, is that fine if I take another 10 minutes? Because we are at 8:30 and I think 1 hour was the time given. Is it fine? 1 hour?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Please
okay,
go ahead.
okay. Refraining from pain and failure. So I'll tell you one small thing, like a very small, a personal story. So I was always a good student in school. Okay. Pinna evideyo 8th standard ഒക്കെ ആയപ്പോ I just got very happy doing other things, every other thing other than studying. അങ്ങനെ പറയാം, അതായിരിക്കും നല്ലത്. പഠിത്തമല്ലാത്ത എല്ലാ കാര്യത്തിലും ഞാൻ ഓക്കെയാണ്. So obviously my grades started falling. I studied in the Middle East. So in the 10th grade, even now, in spite of everything I've done after that, I'm very ashamed to talk about my marks, even now. So anyways, I had very, very low scores. And the rest of the world, I think that everybody had more marks than me. So in my 12th grade, I took commerce. And I don't know if it's still there in schools today, that 10th കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 11th first when ആദ്യത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സിന് വരുമ്പോൾ the teacher will ask ആർക്കൊക്കെ 90% above കിട്ടി, ആർക്കൊക്കെ 80% above കിട്ടി. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവരും ഇങ്ങനെ കൈ പൊന്തിക്കും, നിൽക്കും, ഇങ്ങനെ ക്ലാപ്പ് ചെയ്യും, all that. I don't know if it's still there, പക്ഷേ ആ സമയത്ത് കാര്യമായിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. സോ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ വന്നിട്ട് who all got 90%, അപ്പോൾ കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ നിന്നു, all got 80%. എനിക്ക് നിൽക്കാൻ അവിടെ ഒന്നും സ്കോപ്പില്ല. അപ്പോൾ 80% അതും കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ നിന്നു, 70 അതും നിന്നു, 60 ഒക്കെ നിന്നു. I was just drowning in self-pity, because it was not because I was bad at studies. I just decided I didn't want to study. I didn't have any focus. അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ അതിനിപ്പോൾ. But I was just feeling like a very big failure. Like എനിക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴും അത് പറയുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴും ആ ഇമോഷൻ is still there. I remember sitting there and everybody standing. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവരും ഇങ്ങനെ എണീച്ച് നിൽക്കുകയാണ്, അപ്പം ഞാൻ മാത്രം ഇരിക്കുകയാണ്, എണീക്കാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടില്ല അതുവരെ. So I was feeling like a big failure, and I just stood there. I just sat there with my head, like I was just looking down, and I just sat there. So I very clearly, നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലേ, some teachers make your life, some teachers break your life. So this is a teacher who made my life. There was a ma'am called Regita. She used to take business studies. So she called me out, and she never, ഇതിനു മുമ്പ് എന്നെ കണ്ടിട്ടോ എന്നെ അറിയൊന്നുമില്ല. She was a new ma'am. She called me out and she said, she asked me like, why were you so upset? So I told her, ma'am, ഞാൻ പഠിക്കാഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ്, like, but now I feel I should have. അപ്പോൾ she told me, see, there are two ways you can see it. ഒരെണ്ണം, that you did very badly എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് you go ahead with your life, 11th and 12th ഒക്കെ അങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കുക. രണ്ടാമത്, you tell yourself that, I did badly and I know I can do much better. Let me start new from here. These are the two things. ഇതുപോലെ അല്ല പറഞ്ഞേ, എനിക്ക് കറക്റ്റ് വേർഡ്സ് ഓർമ്മയില്ല, ഇതാണ് എൻ്റെ ജസ്റ്റ്. So then I actually thought about it to myself, and then I started studying. I was always good. ഞാൻ 8th തൊട്ടിട്ടാണ് പിന്നെ എൻ്റെ എൻ്റെ attention ഒക്കെ മാറി. Then I started studying, and from then till day I've always been in the top 5 in all institutions, all colleges that I've studied. So നമുക്ക് പെയിനും ഫെയിലിയറും, pain is also like that. This is also like when my dad passed away 8 years ago. It was his biggest dream that he wanted me to be a lawyer when I was studying, but obviously I had other plans, and it was there in the back of my head Apollo. It was always there. Achan wanted, but you're never ready to think that you will not have your parents someday. You always think your parents will live forever. So that was what I also thought, and it was very out of the blue. അപ്പം ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ for a few months, this is for the person who also told me that what is holding them back is the loss of their parents. I'm also talking for that person. I don't remember her name. That നമുക്ക് ആ ലോസ് ഭയങ്കര വലുതാണ്, ആ വാക്യൂമും ഭയങ്കര വലുതാണ്. But there are certain values and certain things they want you to do. അത് നമുക്കൊക്കെ ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട്. So I thought, okay, now this is one thing that my father wanted me to do. He may not be there physically, but like we believe he's looking at me from somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it in the best possible way I can do. And that's what I did. So നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ പെയിനും ഫെയിലിയേഴ്സും നമുക്ക് റീഫ്രെയിം ചെയ്യണം. പെയിൻ ക്യാൻ പുട്ട് യു ഡൗൺ, ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ഓൾസോ ബിൽഡ് യു ട്രെമെൻഡസ്ലി. ലൈക്ക് യു വിൽ നോട്ട് റിയലൈസ് യു ഹാഡ് സോ മച്ച് ഇൻ യു. So it's important to think of both sides. Like, where can I go from here? What do I do? What did I not do? What can I do now? So it's important to reframe your failure and your pain. Yeah. So this is for yourself. Think about one difficult phase that you faced in your life. It can be ഇപ്പോഴായിരിക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കുറെ മുന്നേ ആയിരിക്കാം. And what is one thing that it taught you? Like, I'd like to know if you can put in, if you do not have a problem sharing it with me. But what is one thing that you realized after a very difficult phase in your life? One good thing, okay? That, okay, this made me this, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ one thing that really taught you something. Thank you, Anup Kumar sir. I can handle pain. Yes. Yes. Everybody else is listening. I'm assuming they're all listening. I'm very positive here. So, but thank you, Devki and Praveena.
Your session is great, so everybody's listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for some of the people who've been very active here. It just makes me want to say more. So from my life, what I understood is that wherever I fall, in whatever pit I fall, I can just get up and keep moving. And it doesn't matter what the world says, I will keep moving. That's what my life taught me. So we all have these lessons that are failures. So നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ലൈഫിൽ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുകൾ ഉണ്ടായതും ഒക്കെ നമ്മളെ പഠിപ്പിച്ചൊരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. Hold that very close to you, because that is one thing that will make you move forward, right? The women who rise beautifully are often the ones who rebuild themselves quietly after breaking. നമ്മളിവിടെ നമ്മളുടെ ചുറ്റും വളരെ വളരെ എന്താ പറയാ ഭയങ്കര സ്ട്രോങ് ആയ വിമനെ കാണും. If you ask them, there's always a story. There's one lady who works, I'm right now in Thrissur with my mum. So there's one lady who works in the supermarket right below our building. And she's always smiling. ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ചിരിച്ച് എപ്പോഴും ചിരിച്ചിട്ടാ. അപ്പോൾ like a few months back, I just went and told her, അയ്യോ ചേച്ചി അടിപൊളി ചിരി കേട്ടോ. ഞാൻ വെറുതെ like randomly അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞത്. I didn't mean to, I was not doing the good deed for the day ഒന്നല്ല. But it was such a nice smile. And വൈകുന്നേരം ഞാനിങ്ങനെ ടയർഡായി പോകുമ്പോൾ അത് കണ്ടപ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര ഒരു എന്തൊരു സുഖം. അപ്പം ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ചേച്ചി ഭയങ്കര നല്ല ചിരിയാട്ടോ. Then she said, like ഇത് മോളാ. She introduced one small girl, probably in the 7th or. Then like we started talking every time I go to the supermarket, and she told me her husband committed suicide. She said, my house is almost on the verge of. So I was very surprised, because not even for a moment you will ever think, because she's so charming and so graceful. So people who rise beautifully are always the ones who rebuild themselves. So a bad day, a tragedy, a trauma can never put you down. Pick up the lessons that you've gotten from that and move forward with more strength than you have had, right? So I've come to the end of this session. We talked about resilience. We talked about self-awareness, what we need for resilience, which is self-awareness, emotional regulation, support systems, building your boundaries, rest and recovery, and reframing your pain and failure. These are all നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. But at least for today, I want you to keep this inside your head. Just roll it into your head. Think about where you want to be. What are you now? എന്താണ് ആവണ്ടേ? ഇതെങ്ങനെ എനിക്ക് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക? ഞാൻ ശരിക്കും എൻ്റെ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി എന്താ? ഞാനുള്ള റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ഒന്നും ഞാൻ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി എന്താ? That's a question you need to really ask yourself. So I would just end it by saying, keep glowing gently, not by burning yourself out for others, but by becoming emotionally whole within yourself. And I hope the session has at least for a second made you think about where you want to go, where you are now, what you want to become, and what is the identity that you want to build for yourself. I'd like to thank all of you who've been on camera and who've been off camera. I'm sure you've been listening. I will just open this forum up for any questions if there are. And thank you so much. So also one thing. So like Shaukat said, there is a retreat that, for forever, I've been thinking about it forever. There is no date on it as yet. This is a small poster of the retreat, which I think can you all see it?
Yes, we can.
So this is a retreat. We don't have a date. It is, I'm planning it with music and movement, and it is not just talking. So hopefully very soon we'll have a date, and it's a stayover retreat. So you don't have to take care of your children or cook for anybody. It's just you, right? Yeah. So thank you so much. If there are any questions.
One question, can men come for the retreat?
Oh, no. This is a women's only. The retreat is, unfortunately, the retreat is only for women. So you can send your wife.
Mr. Shaukat has got to have one for all the gents.
Right.
But very insightful talk, and you gave some very lucid examples.
We'll do, sir.
Examples from your own life, something that really builds the bond and connects very well. Very insightful talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anybody has any questions? I'm so glad to see so many people I know here. It's Shiba. Thank you so much for joining. I just saw your face. I didn't see your name. So thank you to everybody who've joined. And hopefully when we meet again, you will tell me that, okay, I've changed this, and I understood that maybe this was not, maybe I should learn to say no. Maybe I should stay away from this person. Maybe I should just walk away from emotionally draining conversations. I'm hoping you will tell me this when you see me next. So are there any questions, or are we good?
Wonderful talk. Wonderful.
Thank you, Shiba. Thank you so much. So the
I
reason,
didn't know you were into mental health classes and all. I thought you
yeah,
were a lawyer.
you thought I was mental and I didn't take mental health classes.
No, I
It's okay, Shima.
no, no.
Okay, if you say that. So, right. So,
It
yeah.
is like a Satish and Kanyi Kuri. You only wrote Kanyi, Kuri is left.
Yeah. So there is this thing about questions, if nobody asks questions, there are two ways. You reframe it. One is that nobody heard, and one is that everybody heard and understood. So I think that everybody heard and understood. I always think like that. So, uh, Shaukat, I think there are no questions here now. Because shall
Yeah.
we? Yeah.
So before call of a day, Shaukat ji, anything more to be added from your end before we?
Yeah, just see, I wanted to share with Aswathi, your sessions being actually heard by my wife too. We were actually driving
Oh, nice.
together.
Okay. That's nice. That I like.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful session, Aswathi.
Thank
And
you.
I know you for the way you do, the way you interact with people, and the choice of words you use. Superb.
Thank you so much.
I think the overnight stay, the staycation maybe we'll have 1 or 2 days in Wayanad,
Yes,
only for the
definitely.
women.
Yes,
But one thing is very clear: for inauguration, chairman has to come, whether it's women or women. This is for sure. Okay, jokes apart. Thank you very much for having such a nice time. I think we started with the 58 and almost 48, 50 people were there throughout, almost till this time. And this is a great success. Thank you very much, Aswathi.
Thank you. Thank you,
And-
Shaukat, for the opportunity. You've been very kind because I just mentioned it to you one day that I always want to do this retreat for women. And you said, oh, is that? So then let me help you. So that was very kind of you to give me this opportunity. And, it's an honor to be able to address so many women at this time of the night.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll do definitely we'll do this. Only thing is that you need to let us know the date and we need to plan it in advance because it's an overnight stay, especially for the women. They may have to plan in advance and do. So
Sure. Yes.
So we will do that. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
I'll hand over this mic to somebody very special, somebody who is heading our online activities, and one and only Deepak Padia for a word of thanks.
Thank you so much, S.A. I think this opportunity need to be given to a lady itself, being a say lady session. But I think most of our boys enjoyed this session because I believe we are the people who can actually have more impact, who can give more space for our partners. So I would extend this opportunity to our beloved Vice Chairman. Devaki ji, are you there?
Hi,
I
Deepak. I'm very much here. There is no power here, so I had to cut off my video, but I'm listening.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First of all, let me thank Deepak for giving me this opportunity because I was having that feeling, I should be giving some nice words to Aswathi. It was a wonderful session, Aswathi. I was enjoying throughout, from the beginning till now. Like whatever you were saying, I was able to relate everything, whatever you were saying. And you wonderfully presented. The way you presented was really amazing. You were so cheerful, and I think everyone enjoyed because when Sheba ma'am came and when she spoke, I could see the her face. She was glowing, and the way she was talking, because that shows the result of your session. People are happy listening to you. So thank you so much for the session, and I believe that I'm speaking for everyone, every woman in this group, not just for me, for everyone in ISTD, not just from Kozhikode, but from other chapters also. I'm very happy to see people who have joined from various other places, and thank you to our national president also for being with us today. Thank you so much, Atul sir.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot.
madam. And I would only like to say it's been nice to see some of our very familiar faces. I was there. I can remember Mr. Deepak. I saw Colonel Nisar was there some time back. Devaki madam videos, I watched some of them are in Malayalam, but I don't miss them. She's very expressive. And I must say that your chairperson has been one of the most popular and is already one of the most respectable people that we have in our national board. Kozhikode has been spoken about as one of the most happening chapters, and that is a credit to him and to each one of you all. We're extremely proud of your chapter and all your members. So we also have had some chapters saying that we've got so much to learn from a new chapter like you all. You all are also opening up a students' wing, I've heard. So some wonderful initiatives from some wonderful people that are there in the chapter. So thanks and compliments. We also have people from across the country. The chairperson of Goa, Krupa, attending, the chairperson of Nasik, Mr. Ashok Deshpande, who's here. So we have people across the country waiting and eager whenever there's a program of Kozhikode. Compliments and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ashwathi, Ashwathi, a very wonderful session. It was really nice to hear you. And I like the smile on your face, which is inspiring all of us over here. And thank you so much, Shaukat, for a wonderful initiative. Yeah, hi.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
thank you, thank you.
yes.
So much.
Thank you to Goa.
Yeah,
Thank you to Nasik.
thank you to all the guests here. And
Thank
to
you.
Shamima, our program director. Thank you so much, Shamima. Okay, good night. That's it. Thank you so much again.